Okay, it's live. Alrighty. We're gonna go ahead and give people a few minutes to start filing in. I do apologize for the tardiness of today's episode. I've had a lot of meetings today. I'm not gonna say it was back to back to back to back, but it was exhausting. It usually is when you're getting shit done, you know? So I got my medicine. Let me put that down. Hold on a second. All right, I'm gonna hit the thing. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is FireSide with the LionsPride. I almost called it coffee time, but it's not coffee time. Even though I do have coffee. So yeah, once again, today's going to be a bit of a short episode. I am tired. And for those of you who missed the message that I left on Facebook earlier today, I got my gut medicine, the nortriptyline. It's usually not hard to say. I got my gut medicine last night. It still hurts. Nortriptyline takes a few days to take full effect. And yeah, this still hurts. And also, again, lots of meetings today. Very, very prolific day. I'm not really sure how to go much more into it, but that kind of sort of coalesces, the meaning of today's episodes. Never give up. Very, very often, people they'll have difficulties, and these difficulties will pile up to the point where it feels like it's insurmountable. And oftentimes at that point, people will say, "Oh, the universe, our God or whatever, doesn't want me to do it. Oh well," and they'll give up. But you must understand, when these things begin to happen, that's because you're starting to succeed. Okay, nature abhors a vacuum. So whatever difficulty in life you're leaving to make room into a better life, the universe is going to fill that with some drama at first. Results may vary, higher drama, lower drama, but there will be drama. And what you must understand is, when you get the drama, it's time to knuckle down and go harder, work harder, fight harder, dance harder. She said it right. I'm not liking my like. I am liking my cigarettes. I'm not lighting it. I'm trying to practice, not smoking. Things that are getting to the point where it's time to start quitting. The drama and the chaos has begun to die. So, but yeah, it has been every possible trouble you can imagine these during the years that the show has been active, but we never give up. We never surrender. We always push forward. And sometimes it blows up in our faces, but usually we land on our feet. That's the way of the world. Yeah, if you're fighting, you're winning. But especially now, with with everything going the way it is, with Tombstone and the Silver Eagle and the investigations, it's almost like we're living proof. Never give up, never surrender. You know. So Katie was talking. By the way, do we have comments? Okay. So Katie and I were talking, and she brought up something that I wanted to, pass along to everybody. We thought of sort of a better way to explain what I was trying to go into last episode about, the nature of quantum consciousness and et cetera, et cetera. See, she's pretending to be a cat, but she's actually a dragon. She's my shoulder dragon. Yeah. So Katie expressed that a lot of people will probably be confused by the idea of atoms and thoughts having consciousness of their own. So what she mentioned was that it might be a better way to describe it by explaining the building blocks of consciousness, right? Just like how amino acids are the building blocks of biology, and they are informed by the environment around them, so too are molecules, atoms, wave fronts, etc., etc. Rather than referring to these as quantum consciousness, maybe it would be better if we referred to these as the building blocks of consciousness. See, it's very, very difficult to explain, and we're working on getting the kinds of visual aids that I mean. But going back to the atom example, you know, the electrons spin around the atom, right? They are the other shell, whatever you want to call it, whether you use the spinny one point model or the field. The whole point is that the electrons create a pulse around every given atom. Every molecule, every atom working together in your body works together to create this experience. And that extends to consciousness too. Now, one of the questions that I've gotten in the past, not necessarily this last week, but in the past when I've talked about this is, well, what does that mean about free will? Not a damn thing. Um, Maybe somebody can help me out. I don't understand why the whole free will thing is a question. So the most intelligent version of the question I've gotten is when when a given debater has mentioned, between environmental factors, genetic factors, instincts, all these other things, there's really no such thing as free will, just a very, very elaborate set of pre-programmed motions. I can see where people would be coming from, but no, that's not correct. We get this a lot, and Einstein got this question. He didn't have an answer, but I do. They're like, well, but if all this is relative, then what does that mean about free will? If you, because Einstein believed in God, right? If God's in control of everything, then doesn't that mean everybody's like really not in control of their own actions? And Einstein didn't have an answer for that. Then that raised the further questions. If any entity out there, any kind of God, big G, little g, what begins with the letter G, whatever you want to call it, if any entity out there knows every decision you're ever going to make, do you have free will? Yeah, totally. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why this is a thing. See, folks, whatever is going to happen in the future, it's predetermined only in the aspect of a supremely intelligent entity, machine, or whatever can make predictions that, depending on the intelligence, could be up to 100% accurate, right? That doesn't change the fact that you still made the decisions. Like say, for example, you met Geheshna. Yeah, Geheshnu. There we go. Let's just say you met Geheshnu, and Geheshnu was able to tell you like literally everything you will ever do with 100,000% accuracy. He's not controlling you. You're not being controlled. Okay. If I know you well enough, I can offer you a drink of this handy dandy non-carbonated, non-alcoholic beverage, and I will know with 100% certainty what you will say. Does that mean you don't have a choice? Of course not. Now, these are natural questions for people to ask, especially like physicists and whatnot. But it's kind of basic. I am choosing to pretend to pick my nose right now. Ooh, oh no, my nose! I'm picking it. You see what I mean? That's a choice. I could have not done that. Now, if you ask the world's greatest supercomputer, will Cassidy pretend to pick its nose? It'll say, yes, Cassidy will pretend to pick his nose. But that doesn't mean I didn't choose it. You see? The hardest part, I think, is to go into how much agency we all really have. Because when you bring up the totality of agency that everyone has over their lives, immediately people go to oh, well, so you mean kids? Does kids choose to get leukemia? No, no. It's a little more complicated than that. Always remember, folks, if somebody's trying to reduce what you have to say down to its most ridiculous argument, they're not really talking to you. They're just waiting for their chance to yell at you. Remember that. Okay, okay. I tried. I tried. I tried. I made it 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Sorry, I really do have terrible stage fright, and this helps get through it. But yeah, did I have a choice to light that cigarette? Of course. Now, could you say that there was a complex series of stimuli that made that choice more strong? Yeah, absolutely. But still, my choice. Lost Link says, "No fright, be light."
That was when you were talking about, never stop fighting.
Oh yeah. I had never. No, definitely stop fighting. Definitely not stop fighting. Keep in mind, fighting doesn't necessarily mean physical violence, folks. It doesn't always mean that. A fight, like for example, Char's fight against the disease. There was no physical violence involved there. Believe me, I wish there was. If somebody could have like put a target in front of me and said, "Punch this thing, and your daughter will be sick," they weeble and they wobble, and they will fall down. But a fight isn't a way for two beings to hurt each other. A fight is any situation where two beings are sort of moving against each other's grain. And that can be as easy as two squirrels, fighting over the same acorn, all the way up to, intellectuals arguing about the proverbial orangutan that we're not allowed to speak of. Oh, Marianne! Yay!
Hello from Ghost House Paranormal.
Ghost House! But for those of you who are wondering, do a Google search. You're going to want to use keywords Edgar Allan Poe. We do not speak of the orangutan. That is some funny shit. And I have actually seen people come to blows over it. You would be shocked what academics fight over, like fisticuff fight over. No, that wouldn't shock me at all. But most scientists I don't consider academics. Most scientists are just in it to prove their theories, which is more like a religion. But yeah, dude.
Is that the smarter a person thinks they are, the dumber the shit they fight over.
Yes, but that is not actually a full sliding scale because I know I'm pretty dumb and I still fight over stupid shit. So that'd be cool if it was a sliding scale in reverse, though. Katie says, "But why did you choose that?" Well, because I'm nervous, and because the nicotine helps keep things going. My gut's not still, it's not quite up to spec yet. So, like I said, there are a complex combination of stimuli, but ultimately the choice is still my own. You see, and for those people who have been listening to the rumors, this gets into, I'm sure some people are watching this, the haters, and they go, "Oh yeah, Cass, well, what about that?" Rah, rah, rah. I would like to remind everybody, I don't blame my family for my own difficulties. My difficulties are my own, like my trouble with Kristen. This wasn't Kristen's fault. It was my fault because I'm an asshole, you know? Don't ever blame people for your own misgivings. No one can ever make you feel a certain way, you know? And again, Char was proof of that. It doesn't matter what my family did to that girl. They can't make me lose my head and kill them all. I have to choose. And Char made me promise. You guys don't understand. Some of you guys don't understand about Lyrans, and this is one of the ways you know if somebody's bullshitting you about being a Lyran. Lyrans aren't allowed to lie. We're not allowed to lie. We can, but we lose all of our mojo if we lie. Okay. When you're talking about will working and light working and whatever you want to call it, something that people very often forget is basically what you're doing is setting yourself up in such a state of willpower and self-confidence and faith that you're bending reality. You cannot do that and also tell lies. It does not work. The draconians out there will tell you, "Oh no, you can do it. You can get away with it. You could blah 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 blah." It's all bullshit and it's bad for you, and they're full of shit. See, let me point something out. Let's say you tell a lie, right? And then nobody ever finds out. Nobody ever finds out. Even God was looking the other direction. Not even God knows you lied, right? Do you understand there's still negative consequences to that? The absolute least damage you can do by lying is damage your own love for the person you're lying to. Because if you do succeed, then you've just destroyed your own faith in that person. What's that?
Marianne says Shar is always watching the lion.
Thank you. It by the way, it really does help if for those of you who have the sight or even just a good intuition. The reminders that Shar is always around really do help. I have it way easier than Shannon does and did, in that my light body can still hug her light body. So even now, I only have a tasty taste of what humans go through. Even now, I just have enough of a tasty taste. Shit's fucked up here. It's not gonna go on. And who you gonna call? I've been trying to remember that line. What is that line from Ghostbusters 2? Is like, sometimes shit happens, no one else can help, so who you gonna call? Yes, but Cast Lightwing fits the rhyming scheme. Somebody do something about this. So yeah, we all make our choices. And yes, it's true that many choices are made on a dimension that is not this one, which, by the way, dovetails into tonight's hyperspatial lesson. So the degree of choice is, like I said, it gets more complicated and it gets rooted into the subconscious. But even, oh God, so many people are going to get mad at me. And Penn and Teller, if you guys hear this and get mad at me, kiss my butt. That does include the sick children of the world. It really does. And yeah, that's me saying it. So yeah, it gets complicated. There have been a number of psychics who have tried to explain to me what their interpretation of Shar's mission was, and it's like a fucking dagger in my heart. But part of her mission was to experience this. I'm still going to carve her name into Mammon's face when I catch him.
Marianne says, you already know I spoke with her about a picture she colored. I don't need to lie.
No, I know you don't, Marianne. Ghost house. Okay, ghost house for the win, y'all. Yeah, Marianne is one of the a great deal of psychics or people who want to be psychic have sent messages, and I'm not saying don't. I'm not saying stop, but I'm saying a lot of people are not connected the way they think they are. Marianne is one of the people that is connected the way she says she is. Basically, all right. So there's a story, and we'll get into the into the thing in a second. Houdini. Okay, so Houdini did not believe in the supernatural at all. Okay, he was angry at the supernatural because he wanted to believe so hard. He wanted it so bad to be true. But no one could ever do a psychic pet trick for him that he couldn't debunk, because let's face it, most psychics are frauds. So he left a series of very, very specific clues and keywords that he would be, if there was an afterlife, he would be projecting at any psychic, and this. So there was this challenge. If you really are psychic, connect with Houdini, win $1 million. Okay. Nobody's ever been able to do it. I don't know why. I'm not psychic. I think I remember being psychic before the car accident, but I'm sure as heck not psychic now. I get flashes like everybody does, but I'm not, you wouldn't classify me as a psychic. But yeah, so we have several of those pitfalls set up. Hold on 1 second. I stopped to sob right when I took a drink, so that made a traffic jam.
Marianne said she reminded me about a small feathered friend she helped.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the bird. That was the baby bird. Yeah, there's actually pictures of it on the Facebook. And nobody would ever believe it. It is one of those one of those stories that's way too sweet. Oh, it can't be real. Oh, we took pictures. She literally did save and rescue and rehabilitate a baby bird. And there's pictures of it. But yeah, choice, free will. It's a lot more complicated than it seems. I'm gonna hand the thing to Shannon while I compose myself because I just made myself sad. I like Dr. Farnsworth. I'm sad now. Give me 1 second.
Okay, just to share with you guys real quick the story about Lucky. Lucky was a baby house finch that was in a nest above the valet parking, I guess, of Children's Hospital, Colorado. That nest got blown down on a very windy day, and nobody noticed this little baby bird that was hopping around one of the corners by the door, except for Shar. And Shar wanted to take the baby bird home, basically nurse it back to health, let it go again. So we did, you know. Um, oh god, and that bird was so lucky. We at the time we had two house cats, so you can understand why Lucky got their name. Oh, in fact, I remember we were helping Lucky, I guess, do physical therapy. Tossing, well, not tossing it, but trying to encourage him to fly in the living room. So Lucky landed on Cass's shoulder. From the bedroom down the hall behind Cass, one of our cats just streaked right up his back trying to get this bird. Don't worry, Lucky was fine.
The cat wasn't.
No, the cat was not.
That little son bitch crawled up my back like a ladder made of flesh. But yeah, it was the damnedest thing. This bird just like comes hopping right up to Char, like it knew she was there to help. You know? Yeah, and she was something else. Yeah, then talk of that story about Char completely blew out what I was gonna say about tonight. That's okay though. That's fine. Let's see. John Mormon says absolute proof interferes with free will. I actually agree with that, and as it also interferes with faith. Part of the point of faith is to remind you that there's hands reaching down that you can grab, hands in help. I'm starting to sound like Kamala Harris. That the hands of your ancestors, shall we say, or the great totem rattlesnake, or whatever. That there is something larger than us that loves us. Okay, even if you believe that's just your higher self. Okay, proof destroys faith because if you have your proof, you're not believing in something bigger than you can understand. Okay, so it gets really really difficult. And another factor that where I'm not sure if John meant this, but I'm pretty sure being completely aware of yourself really really creates problems when it comes to, like, for example, will working, miracle working, light working, whatever you want to call it. The holy grail of metaphysics, shapeshifting. The exact reason why it's so damn difficult is because you can't make your hand into a wolf hand while you're looking at your hand. Your eyes are telling you, no, that's a people hand. So your mind is trying to override reality, saying, no, wolf hand, wolf hand. And apparently the Navajo have gotten past this. I would like to know how. I would like very much to know how. That's where you get skinwalkers and whatnot. But it's also the same thing for self healing. That's why healers healers' own worst patients are themselves. Part of the reason, like in my case, how am I gonna like tell my belly that my belly is fine when my belly is currently yanking my spinal cord out through the bones, chopping it up with a credit card and snorting it like cocaine? I, it's kind of hard, you know. And we just got a rated R for drug references. You know, so healers healing themselves very difficult, and it's one of the things that has put a major dampener on the study of metaphysics. Because once you're past the stage of an initiate, doing these things to yourself or even in your own vision can screw up your working because you're watching it, you're looking at it, you have to convince your mind that your eyes are lying, and it's not easy.
Marianne had a few comments here.
Yeah.
She says, "I'm so sorry, Daddy. Follow your dreams into the paranormal. You will see."
Yeah.
And then she followed that up with, "Mama."
Those are called chuffs, by the way. And she's right. You know, this is going to seem very, very self-serving, but you know, the fact is, the blueprints are in play. You know, and as self-serving as it would seem, whoever helps us get this information out there, so that the world understands we are here, we'll be very rich. Rich, I don't know how very much because you know that's not my thing, but you know, oh, just imagine. I mean, you guys can do the math. I mean, imagine what you know. For example, Eldon. Imagine how Eldon would be received if he was the guy that facilitated, you know, first contact. You can take that to the bank. We're working on it. But yeah, you can't give up. You can't give up. You're not allowed to give up. You don't get to give up till I tell you. And I ain't telling you anytime soon. That being said, I'm not Jesus. No. Yeah, Jesus, exactly. Jesus doesn't fart, and I'm telling you guys, my farts are straight from hell. In the middle of the night, I was farting in my sleep. Why do you do that to me?
Because I like you.
You see what I gotta put up with? But yeah, so never give up, never surrender. And you have this choice. You can choose to never give up. Every single one of you has the willpower of the gods. All you have to do is exercise it. That's the hard part, though. Understandable. God dang it, I still can't. I had it very firmly in my head. Then I started talking about Shar, and it just poof out of my head like a pile of leaves in the wind. Uh, what was that? Yeah. I don't remember exactly where I was going with that. That's okay. That's okay. Huh?
Says, "Hey guys, been a while. I bring the Holy Ghost.
Jason!
I bring the Holy Ghost like I always have. You are forgiven. Always remember that, like every second of the day."
I tried, Jason, and the thing is, folks, that this cannot be expressed enough. Like the final boss of Christly thinking, I guess, and the final boss is forgiving yourself. The final boss isn't forgiving Jeffrey Dahmer. It's not forgiving the people that harass your daughter off of a heart transplant list. The final boss is yourself. And if you can forgive yourself, you're all right. You're all right. I can't claim to know about like exactly how the afterlife works or anything like that. The way my people interact with the world is a little. Now I remember. Dimensions. Ha 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 ha.
Dimensions or dementia?
Dimension. Shit. Dimensions.
Just checking.
But the way my people interact with my people's body if you would call it that, is an energetic light body. The way our bodies interact with your spirits, especially in the dream world, is a very uh, complicated thing. So I can't tell you exactly what the afterlife is. But I can tell you it is worth it. No matter how much pain you're in, it is worth it. Hang on just a little while longer. It's just one lifetime. I just heard myself say that, and I'm reminded of when I was a little kid, and my dad or my mom would say it's an hour away, and that felt like forever. Like an hour can't possibly happen. No one will be alive in an hour. But yeah, as we get more into the science of how this all works, I'm hoping to give you guys the the gift of helping you remember. But oh yeah, she went to light. Dimensions. Okay, so I have been putting some very serious thought in the week during the week over how to describe some of the dimensions that we've been talking about. Because like this is the third dimension. According to the most common model, this is the third dimension. Okay, so fine, 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 fine. I don't want to argue it. It's easier to just use this. It's easier to just work with the mythologue. So this is the third dimension. We can move forward, we can move back, we can decide, we can do side to side, like the dad from Independence Day. Look at me. I can go forward. I can go back. I can go side to side. Was it something I said? But so how do you even start to describing other dimensions? And you guys already have one, which is time, and people will often say time is the fourth dimension. There is no the fourth dimension. I just want to get that right off the bat. There's no the fourth dimension. There are many things you could consider a fourth dimension or a fifth or sixth or seventh. So trying to describe these has been really, really difficult. I actually got some inspiration this week. So what I would say the fourth dimension is not time. Time is not a dimension. Time is a cast off energy sequence formed by the rubbing of gravity on space. But what you guys think of as time could be considered a fourth dimension, which that is a perception of linear causality. That is still a dimension. Fair enough. Inward. You hear that? Inward would be a fourth dimension, or a fifth dimension, if you will, depending on. But inward is literally a dimension, and I'm going to ask you guys to put on your imagination caps here for a second. Does everybody know what a tesseract is? Shannon, could you describe a tesseract for people? I'm not good at this part.
Okay, so people who have read the book by Madeline L'Engle are familiar with the Tesseract. The book is called A Wrinkle in Time, where if third dimension, well, three dimensions, that's height, width, depth. That's what we're all used to. The fourth dimension would be time. Fifth dimension is a tesseract, which is basically a way of skipping through time and space without all of the stuff in between, essentially.
So if you type in tesseract right now in Google, what you'll see is basically an artist's depiction of what a fifth dimensional cube might look like, and it works. It works. It takes a bit of imagination, but but yeah. So if you can think of a tesseract, right? If that outward is a dimension, that outward unfolding of a cube or a sphere or whatever, which by the way, a lot of the scientists will say there's no such thing as a tesseractal sphere. Yeah, that's what you said about DNA too, guys. Maybe get on board. So yeah, so if a given shape can be folded outward into multiple dimensions, it can also be folded inward. They found my letter. Thank you, bro. They could also be folded inward in multi dimensions. Okay. Some might argue that's the same dimension, just going, two directions. All right, fine. either way. But inward is another dimension that you guys can think about. I highly recommend that as well, by the way, especially for those of you who are pursuing any kind of spiritual or metaphysical process. Going inward is extremely valuable. And yes, many humans already do this mentally and on a psychological level through the use of introspection. I'm not talking about introspection. I'm talking about the world within. You see, physicists or quantum physicists might say, "Oh, that's just quantum physics." No, quantum physics is just smallness. You guys should have picked a better name. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. But the inward dimension is now you're getting into consciousness, the dreams, the mind. Then now you're getting into the realm of the pineal gland. The pineal gland's main purpose is to guide you back into your mind, because these bodies, these shells, you see, they have to survive. You know, one of the process of incarnation involves your higher self, your soul, reading the energy signature of a given DNA strand. Okay, and then matching up the molecules of the DNA. They're only meant to guide the electricity that shoots through them. And as any biologist will be able to tell you, that's. But what the biologists don't understand is that it's the energy signature that the DNA guides, not the DNA molecules. The molecules create like a trough or a rail, for the energy to move through. So your higher self will find the DNA that matches or close enough to its own vibration, and bam, now you have a person. You have the higher self plus the body. The thing is, though, these bodies are animals. Every single one of us, especially me, in bed. No, these bodies, these are animals. You see, as any biologist or medical professional will tell you, without an effort of extraordinary will, at some point your body will take over and keep you alive, whether you want to or not. Anybody who's ever watched a kid hold their breath until they pass out, you'll see exactly. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, they pass out and then their body starts breathing again and they're fine. You see. Now, granted, not always. Every rule has an exception. So the purpose of the linear progression and the linear perception of the perception of linear causality. Whew, the reason why we are all trapped in that is because the bodies need that in order to stay alive. You see, you can't do a whole lot of meditating and contemplating the universe if you're being eaten by a bear. I was going to say tiger, but bear popped out. That's weird. I tried to say tiger, but bear popped out anyway.
Marianne asks,
Oh,
Shannon, what does woofy mean?
she's talking about a member of our family. You guys have seen her comment before. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, all right.
she's talking about Wolf. It's almost time for Wolfie to come home. It's one of the reasons why I want to stop at Wolfie's place on the way back.
Yeah.
Wolfie is a very, very dear friend of ours. She is one of the most awesome people you could meet. Ex-IRA. Like she was there. Mm, but she's 80. She's been having the dreams where her ancestors are calling her home. If you know anything about Druidism or any of the other, ancestor-based religions, you know what that means. It sucks, but you know, don't worry, Wolfie. Cheryl will take good care of you. John says it's about time, it's about space, it's about a very strange place. That seems like it needs music. Is that a song and I'm missing it? John, did you win this? Did you win this round? Is that from a song and I'm not recognizing it? Because that sounds like it should be, although my brain's trying to think of the Great Space Coaster. Get on board on the Great Space Coaster. It was a TV show for kids in the 80s. Who? Hi. Hi, Michelle. So yeah, I'll work on it, and I had a couple more, but inward, it took up a lot of energy trying to describe because, again, I'm not. The inward dimension isn't smallness; it's inside. Now, ironically, the funny thing is, I didn't even try to think about that. I'd basically given up. I was going to go play World of Warcraft and I had videos going on the side. And one of the videos popped up talking about the about the tech level 7 that the government's trying to prepare you guys for. Now, for those of you who don't know, the tech level system is a Kardashev scale. On this scale describes how advanced the society is based on off of how they can gather and control, their source of energy. And I have no idea why, but they have been pushing this tech level 7 shit recently. The entire time the Kardashev scale's been around, it's just gone up to 4. That's it. Just 4. Kardashev was like, yeah, you know what? Past 4, we don't really need it. Again, just 4 is good enough. I doubt he had that accent for reals, but just for the sake of this bit. So it's been catching my interest lately. They've been pushing this tech level 7, tech level 7, tech level 7. And I was doing some research into it and it clicked. It clicked. So that basically gave me the idea of how to describe, that particular dimension that we make usage of, as well as to say, yeah, we are in fact a tech level 7 society. You are about to make first contact way past. You're skipping 1, skipping 2, skipping 3, 4, 5. We're going to take a rest stop at 6 and then going right to 7. And yeah, I know I'm joking, but I'm also deadly serious. Your people understood this. This is in your DNA. Well, RNA. It's in your RNA. Is just remembering how to access this. You guys must remember that before the uh I can't remember what it's called with the thing and the comet and the dinosaurs. Younger Dryas event. Before the Younger Dryas event during the days of Atlantis and whatnot, you guys were tech level 7 too. The only really reason there was anybody like staying on Earth is because it's just more convenient. Why not stay here and then send out exploratory wavelengths and probes and such? Way less dangerous, way safer, way more efficient. Plus, a bigger chunk of existence uses those webways than you think. And yes, I'm borrowing webways from Warhammer 40K. I don't know what else to call them. Wrong show. Although, if you're available, I could take out some human food. Anyway, wrong show. Oh, okay. Yes, from a 60s sitcom. Okay. All right, John. You win this round. You win this round, broski. I was asked, I don't know what sitcom is that from? Is that like that was looking like I knew it was from something. I had like a tickle in my head. So that is too perfect, unless John's doing poetry, which is also welcome. But yeah. More comments?
Shiloh says, "Hey, you guys."
Shiloh! We're closer to you now. I think.
And Marianne says, "Lilies," in quotes from Shar, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna have to think about that. My first instinct is to like nod sagely and make a face like I'm thinking and pretend I know what it means. But you got to watch out. You can't be doing that. You can't do that, especially if you're in a position like I'm in. You can't be pretending you're smarter and wiser than you really are. Although to be fair, in my case, it wouldn't be that hard. All I'd have to do is act like a 4-year-old. So yeah, I'll try to find ways to describe some more of the dimensions that my people know about that we can share. So when I say that the Lyrans are aware of 16 dimensions, that doesn't mean I can name them all. Okay, I am not a savant amongst my people in that area. I was a savant in the areas of life energy. I am a doctor of life itself. It's why we were able to do what we were able. It's why we are able to do what we are able to do, especially during the COVID lockdown. I am a doctor of life. It's just that back home, the tools doctors use are harmonic. I mean, we don't like It's like that freaking scene in Star Trek 4, man. You're gonna do what? You're gonna drill into his skull? I can't remember the whole line. What was how does it go? When Dr. McCoy is arguing with the surgeons?
Drilling holes in his head's not going to work. Now put away your butcher's knives and let me save this patient before it's too late.
Yeah. So we don't use knives and things like that. We use harmonics. And yes, we are in the process of proving that it works here too. It has taken a lifetime of studying your people's perception of physics, but it was worth it. People ask me sometimes, Kaz, why don't you learn computers? Because I thought learning how to cure cancer was a little more important.
Okay, so John says, don't remember the name. Isn't that the one that they just did a movie of with Will Ferrell? I can't remember the name.
Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost. Is that it?
No. But that sounds really familiar. Like really familiar. Oh, and you know what? While I'm thinking about it, there was this movie. There's a TV show from the '80s. I need your guys' help. I've not been able to find it at all. It was a TV show. It was about a like a middle 20 something good looking guy with blonde curly hair, and this kid with dark curly hair, and they would travel through time, right? And the credits, right? The scene from the credits is a scene of this medallion that was rather reminiscent of the Orin from uh, the Neverending Story. But this medallion was like imagine if the Orin was combined with a picture of a globe. You know, this was my favorite show when I was a little kid. It came out right after Greatest American Hero, which still one of my all-time favorite shows.
But you also had a 20-something guy with long curly hair.
Right. Come on, this is I was like 4 or 5 years old. This is when we had 3 channels on the TV, so it shouldn't be that hard. But if somebody could help me find that, that would be really great. I remember absolutely loving the show as a kid, but I can't remember anything other than it was about time travel. My dad insisted I learn about time travel.
Shiloh says Time Bandits.
Time Bandit? I don't think it's Time Bandits. Time Bandits was the one with the dwarves and the little kid and the giant like satanic head that kept chasing them. Give back what you have stolen.
Show me what you got.
I just punched myself in the teeth with my lighter thanks to you. Not comfortable. John says, I love the lyrics based on my time problems. Okay.
Marion has a question.
Yeah.
So why do you think the drones are flying around more and more at night?
Lots of reasons. I can't, I don't know all the reasons, of course, but the government has been making a concerted effort to locate what they call ultra terrestrials. Myself and Shar, we've already been located, but they're looking for others, and then they're not just looking for those, as in people, ultra terrestrials who come forward. They're also looking for the signs of ultra terrestrials operating outside of their knowledge. Yeah, this absolutely has the potential to go extremely bad, but it's not going to. The reason why is because none of the humans involved in these projects want to have their grandparents erased. And quite frankly, I hate to say it, but when push comes to shove, when you push a Lyran too far, we erase your grandparents. That's what we do. We don't fuck around. If you want to engage in war with us, we erase you from time. And no, lead breastplates do not help. The thing is, it doesn't matter what a given agent wears, you see, to protect their heart. Your arms got to come out the sides. Your torso's got to come out the side. There's holes in the armor. The best option is if you want to fight us, remember who you are. Then fight us. Till then, sorry, but we had a deal. This planet is the Lyran's homeworld. Yes, I mean the female Lyrans, feline Lyrans. It's just in a different dimension. Although I'm fairly certain Malaqua itself was The moon, you guys call Titan, but that's a whole nother thing. Like I said, we're talking about dimensions and dimensionality. You know, this whole first contact thing, I've said before, it has way more to do with Native American indigenous spirituality, but it also has a great deal to do with dimensions. You know, we are not necessarily interstellar. We are interdimensional. There are interstellar visitors here. Just that's not my people. You know. So yeah. All right. I am starting to power down. I could probably stretch it if I wanted to, but I kind of want to redo my batteries. And quite frankly, I've got almost an hour. So we're going to go ahead and do a few more questions, and then I have a special announcement to make. A few more questions, comments.
See, I'm
Apple pen,
typing
pineapple pen, pineapple, apple pen.
Marianne says Shannon Morningstar. It's cool to say that. So I pointed out Shar has a star registered by Make-A-Wish for her.
Okay. I'm going to let you guys let you all in on what that was about. And for those of you who are not embedded in the metaphysical culture, this is going to sound really, really crazy. I kind of don't care. What got me there was because basically I'm going to stab the devil in the face and carve my daughter's name into it unless he gives up Mammon. Mammon is the demon prince of greed. Mammon is the one most directly responsible for all of this going on. Mammon is the eater of children. So either Lucifer's going to give Mammon up, or I'm going to kill my way through hell. And that's what's going to happen. And for those of you wondering, Cass, how? I advise you to Google a nice little happy fairy tale about a boy and his great great grandma called Tiamat versus Marduk. Let's pretend I didn't mess that up. Tiamat versus Marduk. Mortals can slay gods, folks. And the last time things got to this point, the Sumerians recorded it in the legend of Marduk. Marduk was a man, nothing more. The legends will say Marduk was a god, but you must read the legend. Marduk was a man. Marduk figured out that his spirit was stronger than the spirit of the gods. And he said to the gods, he said, all right, I see you have a little Tiamat problem. How about I take care of that Tiamat problem for you? And the gods laughed and said, oh, but you were but a man. And, Marduk, who's being played by Jack Black for the purposes of this bit, said, yes, I am but a man, but I know something you don't know. So they said, okay, all right, Marduk, I'll tell you what. If you can take care of Tiamat, we'll make you king of the gods. And that's when Marduk pulled Tiamat's head from behind his back and said, you mean like this? Ha ha! And they made him king of the gods. Mortals are greater than the gods. Even Zeus knew it. And for those of you who are saying, but not bigger than Jesus, yeah, that's true. But that gets into big G gods. We're talking about little G gods. All of the demons and furies of hell cannot stand up to the love of a single human being if that human being knows how to focus and let that love be as solid as reality. They run screaming from you when you are dedicated. You, not me. They want to fight me. They run from you. And yeah, that was meant for you. Yes, you. It's not a bit. I really do mean you. I'm telling you, one of these days, people are going to figure out just how much Doctor Who really is going into this bitch. But yeah. Oh, is Jenna here? Jenna! I showed my broken tooth. I'm embarrassed. I'm going to get sexy dentures. Is Jenna here?
I don't see her. Oh, yeah, Jenna. Jenna Lee's watching.
Jenna. Okay, so if Jenna Lee talks to you, listen. That's all I have. That's all. That is all, folks. Jenna's on the same level as Wolfie in my esteem in my esteem levels. In my book, I don't. The phraseology is escaping me. But Jenna, it's good to see you here. Thank you, John, for letting me know Jenna was here. John says, intriguing in dream, Marduk was a brat. Truth. So I sought her out to remind him of the way. I would like a more of an explanation for that one, because that whole story I've been given to understand that the story of Marduk and Tiamat is actually a lot more important than, quite frankly, just a bit or an example story on the show. It's like history is rhyming. Does that make sense? But I mean, we've talked about it before on the show, and I'll talk about it again in much greater detail since it's just about time. But basically, it all comes down to the Oka. The Oka is a name I gave to a spirit that spirit. It's not really a spirit; it's a thing. Um, if you've ever read Midnight Meat Train and you understand how psychic Dean Koontz is, you'll probably poop a little, and that's okay. Because read Midnight Meat Train and then understand that's one of the things he's very accurate about. They take the new presidents down under there to meet this fucking thing again, which I named the Oka, and they'll come back. Great. You've all seen it happen. We elected Obama, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm Obama. Superstition ain't the way." You know what I mean? And then the next day, great. Next day, this was not gradual. He was taken down, and he was shown, and he decided to bend the knee. Come on, I don't dislike Obama. He did a lot of great things. Kneeling for the yoga was not one of them. And quite frankly, that's one of the reasons why I support Trump. He refused. They took him down there, and he threatened to nuke the motherfucker. Do you understand? Trump looked Cthulhu in the eye and said, I got a button right here. Make me. I dare you. It's kind of like George Washington. Again, I do not like Trump. I've never liked Trump. It's not a popular position. It's always grated me how arrogant he is. Always. Funny as hell. Don't get me wrong. But you have to respect a man who can look Cthulhu in the eye and say, kiss my ass. The Native Americans, when this country first got started, had the same problem with George Washington. They shot him. They did everything they could to kill this man until finally one of the chiefs finally said, you know what? Ah! Somebody got pissed off. That's what I mean, folks. They're always going to come to mess with you when you're starting to succeed, as you just saw. So, last thing I'm going to say for this evening is day after tomorrow we are heading out for Massachusetts. Aha! We're going to pick up Katie and bring her back here. This is going to be fun. We're not gonna like super trip back, but we're also not gonna like take a month doing this either. We want to stop and meet some people on the way. I believe Susie is trying to get like something together. I don't know, Susie. We're gonna visit Wolfie again. Well, yeah, but that's like all the way over here because Wolfie's in New Mexico and like we're right here, so Wolfie will be the last stop. But Susie, Wolfie, a couple others. I absolutely want to go see Jillian. That I want. I want to go meet Jillian. So, if Jillian still wants to meet me, John says, in the dream, I was the king's top warrior or judge who trained Marduk. Interesting. Well, like I said, the story of Marduk and Tiamat seems to be coming back into play, like history is rhyming. So maybe that's part of the blueprint. Maybe we all need to be putting our heads together even more. And where things are getting pretty good. The channel's starting to come up. The owners of the Silver Eagle are, yeah, they're helping. So we'll see soon. But so yeah, we're going to get Katie, and then
And then the fun begins.
yeah, the fun begins. I was trying to say it without sounding like an insane squirrel, but that works. That works.
I'll sound like the insane squirrel.
I'm waiting. That was a marmot. That was an insane marmot. I said squirrel.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, things are looking good from there. We have the people are practically banging on our door to come do investigations. There's a lot to do, and it's about to get real fun, real fun. Unfortunately, I mean that in the terms of ha ha yay happy deppy fun, and also fun in the Chinese sense.
Interesting.
Oh, interesting, not fun. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, "May you live in interesting times," and it sounds like a blessing, but it's actually a giant middle finger. So they always do. Things always do get interesting when we're about to make a great leap forward, and this leap is it's pretty great. All we got to do is not fuck it up. So that being said, next time we see you guys, we'll be in Massachusetts, and we love everybody. Be safe out there.